we are going to move on now. So now this project, our project speech speaker needs no introduction. He was actually introduced at the beginning just now, right? So he is no stranger to all of us who attend this Monday booster meeting every week, because it is none other than our president, Sasi Kumar. Okay, and we have always listened to his anecdotes every week. And today we're going to hear a full length speech. Okay, and the title of this speech, what is next? So this can either contradict the theme, or it can coincide with the theme. So that is something interesting that we can see. So and he will be evaluated by Alif. All right, so Alif, are you ready? Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite Sasi Kumar to deliver his speech. What's next? What's next, Sasi Kumar?
Thank you, Toastmaster Hariza, for the lovely introduction. So what's next? So this, before I further on the speech, right? So I would like to explain what is this project is all about. It's reflect on my path. So I've completed a pathway, I've completed a path called team collaboration, and then today I'm planning to do a self-reflection on how was the whole experience was during completion of this pathway. So for all the informations, I've completed a path called team collaboration, and it's my third path in Toastmasters. And why I chose my third path is because if given a chance, I want to try all the 11 paths. So in order of importance, I think that I wanted to choose team collaboration. And what I want to do differently, because I've completed two parts, right? I've innovative planning and dynamic leadership, and then I want to do a third part. So I asked myself, what's next? Am I going to do the same thing again and again? Or is it like going to be repetitions? So I want to do something different. And this is where I realized those days when I was doing my first part, I knew this one very popular name, distinguished Toastmaster Albert. And those the days that we still had the privilege of having a physical meeting. So he actually delivered his 15 speeches in 15 different clubs in Division P or District 51. I cannot recall. So he even have a nice chart where is the date, title, and what pathway and which club he's going to attend to. So that actually was very interesting. And I thought of doing the same. And because the time that I chose my path, this path during pandemic, and we had the leverage of going to any country we want, I thought of doing 15 different speeches in 15 different countries. That is how I started this path. And there's a reason why I did that. And there's also some benefits which I'll talk along the way. And along the way that I started, probably by speech number 5 or 6, then Albert reached out to me and said, why not we make this bigger? We'll do it as a project in Advanced Ardent Speakers, where we have 10 members deliver 10 speeches in 10 different countries. Then I felt like, wow, you are really proving that you are above the mark, Albert. And then say, go ahead. And he led the team. And that's totally a different project. Project 10, I was part of that. So I was trying to kill 2 birds in 1 stone. And I think Project 10 needs no introduction for everyone in this room. So coming back to my 15 speeches in 15 countries. So why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to get a diverse evaluation, or should I say iridescent evaluations, because I think it's a very colorful and we get a different perspective of evaluation from different countries or different people. So the reason is, it doesn't mean the evaluation from my home clubs or Division P or my own district is not valuable or it's not up to the mark. But probably I feel like I'm doing my third path and it's the same kind or same pattern kind of evaluation. So why not I explore to different districts, different countries, how they do the evaluation there, how different it is, or are people going to see me as a different person in a different angle and give the evaluation? And I think that worked. I got critical, bold, or even some evaluation that I cannot resonate with. And you know what? Rather than just accepting the feedback or getting diverse feedback, I realized that added additional value to me. How I cope or react to the evaluation that I can't resonate with. or something that very critical or something very direct to the face. And I realized that's another drill for me. Oh, okay, this trains me to be more inclusive or more acceptance or more open-minded. So I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed throughout this path. So to give an example or to give a context, there's once, I did not want to mention any country or any club's name. So this particular experienced DTM, he suggested or he clarified, he pointed out saying that you were reading notes. I know that you are reading notes and you should not do that being a DTM or someone who's going to be a DTM. And then the truth is, I still have this problem. Instead of staring into camera, I like to look at like what I'm doing now. I like to look at the screen for people's reaction. But that is perceived as I'm reading at the notes because my eyes are not at the camera like this, but I'm looking at the screen. But I totally understand that was his perception. I accepted that. But probably he was very bold, and I was not offended, but I felt like it could have been a bit better evaluation. But again, that made me understand that, and I also know that people from that particular culture are very straightforward. So that that made me help to cope up with different kind of evaluation. So that's one. The second thing that I learned was inclusive and diversity. So we understand different culture have different sensitivities. Like the Middle East, usually majority of them are Muslims. Or if I go to India, especially South or any part of the world, most of them are Hindus. Or even if some portion of places like in Kochi or Kerala, majority of them are Christians. So, but I did not have issues here because being from a Malaysian club, we are multicultural. We always have the sensitivities. Like even today, so we have a multicultural crowd. So I always had the sensitivities. So I never had the problem of speaking something insensitive of any part of the world. But also when you think of reverse, you may come across attending a meeting where something that they speak over there can be sensitive to your religion, your race, or even your country. But I realized that I'm in a different people's meeting, and as long as how to put it this, if they're speaking that's something normal for that particular community, I think I would still embrace it because of something called inclusive and diversity. As long as it was not malicious, it's not intent to hurt anyone, I think that is still all right. So I also learned how to be inclusive and embrace the diversity around the world. Like, for example, some of the Western clubs, they even do toast or talk about alcohol. But we know that's something sensitive for certain religion or certain part of the world. So, but I think that made me as someone inclusive. And that is something very important for an international speaker. Being sensitive and also being inclusive to balance something. So I think by delivering 15 speeches in 15 countries, I became someone who walking towards being an international speaker, at least I would say. And the third benefit I realized was coordination and collaboration, doing a path called team collaboration, right? There's a lot of collaboration needed, especially with time zone, talking with different club members, different evaluators, and having different people have different method of working. So we realize that sometimes even the club meetings are different. The way they do, some clubs don't even do an agenda. They just do it, have it in a PowerPoint slide. So some clubs are very organized, some clubs are very lenient. So it also gives me a chance or opportunity to work with a different kind of leadership. So I also enjoyed that. And having said all that, I'm happy to present speeches in all 6 different continents. And also, I again would like to highlight something from Project 10 and also thank Project 10 members. It was a feel-good factor where we also had a lot of good moral support, where members were trying to give support to each other when we tried to give speech. I remember when I delivered a 18 to 22 minutes keynote speech, I think half of the Project 10 members were there. I think 5 of us were there. And I couldn't give as much of that support to them. I think I barely attended 4 to 5 speeches of other members, but I will definitely do when I had the time. So this is the third benefit that I got: collaborations, coordinations, also networking. And having said all this, right, why I kept asking what's next and what led me to this whole project was the one single question, what's next? And I remember one of the speakers in our speaker series asked us or told us, always ask what's next. That is when you will start finding a purpose to do something. And that is what exactly I did. And having said all this reflection for today's speech, right? So today I'm here while looking at all the three benefits that I received. And again, I'm asking what's next? Yeah, I've done with path, team collaboration, 15 speeches, 15 countries, project deadline. But what's next? Have I completed everything in Toastmasters, or have I learned everything? Someone told me the day that you stop learning is the day that you do no longer need Toastmasters. But I think the day will never come. A continuous improvement is always there, right? So we'll continue learning every day. So today, again, I'm coming back to the question, what's next? And I've decided to continue my fourth path in other countries that I have not delivered speech. So it's no longer going to be 15 speeches in 15 countries, or it might be 30 speeches in 30 countries. As long as I have the access to different countries via Zoom, I think I'll continue doing that. And that's my what's next. And ladies and gentlemen, today, I would like to ask all of you all, what is your plan, Toastmaster? And since Hariza questioned me, it could complement or conflict with the theme of the day. I think all of you are in your own race. And I would just request all of you all to ask this question to yourself. What's next for yourselves? Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sasi. That was a very uplifting speech. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I hope it's an eye-opener for everyone listening, as well as a motivation, okay, to try what Sasi is doing.